Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Happy Tuesday. Hope everyone's having an amazing day. Hope everyone is owning their awesomeness. Is that even a word? Hope you are being the conscious creator that you are, the superstar that you are. And really, being a conscious creator, given the world we're living in right now, it's needed more than ever. So I'm stoked to be talking about this topic today and a lot of other juicy topics. So hello, hello, welcome, welcome. Let me know you're here, whether that is live today or replay. So today's topic, let's dive right in. It is flip your wealth switch. So we're flipping it on, and I'm going to offer a simple tip. So I just want to pause for a moment because when I talk about wealth, that is any area, really. It's absolutely any area in our life. And I think we already know this because a lot of people might associate wealth with money, which it absolutely can, but it's not limited to. So think of wealth, whether, whatever his topic is, prevalent for you right now. But wealth is anything: health, relationships, money, career, business. Health, did I say that? Yeah. So I often talk about moving from the old wealth paradigm to the new wealth paradigm. So the old wealth paradigm is really all about that, pushing, striving, hard, efforting, right? Going above and beyond our, that elegant efforting, elegant, inspired, aligned action. It's a pushing effort. It's when we're disconnected, we're showing up and doing the action from a disconnected place, disconnected from our power. It's not a very conscious way to show up in the world. So that's the old paradigm in a nutshell. And what we're talking about is moving to a new wealth paradigm. And really the new wealth paradigm is when we're acting in a more elegant, high vibration, aligned, connected to our power type of energy. You're working with the laws where it's a more conscious way to show up. And absolutely, it's the path of least resistance. So we're talking about moving from the old paradigm, the old wealth paradigm, to the new wealth paradigm, and offering one tip here, how to flip that wealth switch. So you're moving from the old to the new. So this involves awareness beyond just this conversation. It means putting it into your life. So let's talk about where that might show up in your life today so you can apply it into your life. So I'm talking about awareness of where you focus your attention, your point of attraction, where your vibration is as you go about your day, right? So it's really great. We talk here and you go, yeah, I'll totally get this, Janine. And then you go off and then we just forget it. So I want us to tune into how we show up on our day-to-day basis, moment to moment. So we're making, right now it might be conscious as we're talking about it, but when you go away, you're making what might be unconscious conscious. So let's dive in. So if you're just joining us right now, we're talking about how to flip the wealth switch. So I'm going to offer one tip to move you from lack to greater abundance. So it's the focus. So I want you to write this down. I want you to write down just thinking about where your focus is. Is it out of or is it into? Two totally different vibrations. So write that down: out of, and write the word into. So I'm going to use the example of money because that's what most people can relate to. Plus it's a very tangible example. So I want you to think of when it comes to money, and maybe money isn't an issue for you. We're going to talk about a few other categories in life, but money. When you think about money, do you think of, let's just say you've got some credit card debt, or you're not where you want to be, or the bank account's not where you want to be, or maybe, things aren't quite where you want to be. Do you think of, when it comes to money, is it out of debt or is it into wealth? Out of debt or into wealth? Now that might seem like very similar. It's the same thing, Janine, but they're very, 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 should I say that one more time? Very different vibrations. So one is camp lack. I'm going to call it a camp lack, scarcity, not enough. And over here is camp wealth, abundance, prosperity. So I want you to just pause for a moment and think about how this might how you can answer this for yourself. So when you think about money, if this is maybe something for you, do you focus on like out of worry, out of stress? Do you want to get out of, say, waking up at night thinking about money? Is out of credit card debt? Is it out of that energy, or is it into wealth? whether that means hanging out with people who, have a good money mindset, or listening to podcasts or audibles. I love my audibles. Thinking about possibilities, opportunities, maybe visualization, that sort of, that energy, very, very different. And so you can really, practice this all the time. You can practice abundance like in every moment of every day. So again, is it out of or into? And typically most of us, we focus on what's currently in our circumstances. So if the situation is credit card debt or not enough, that does typically what we focus on, right? As opposed to what we're capable of, right? That's what we're capable of. But usually we default, right? It's just not how we typically think on a day-to-day basis. It's an inside out. We can go, yeah, I get this here when we're talking about it in the moment. You can even take notes. Yeah, no, I've heard this, but it's like, how do you make that unconscious conscious, right? So we need to train ourselves to think differently. If you read any of like Wallace Wattles or Napoleon Hill, it's about thinking and showing up differently. So that's the money example. So what about you think about your health, right? Let's just say tired is a really good one. A lot of people like, oh, I'm just tired, or low energy, or I've got brain fog, right? And so, or a muffin top with the whole pandemic, like, do you think of, oh, I'm trying to get out of that situation, out of tired, low energy, brain fog, or do you focus on into ideal health, right? Again, they seem the same thing, like, oh, I just want to feel better. I just want to look better. I want to, have more energy. But it's a very fine distinction that really has very different vibrations, out of the tired or into ideal health. Again, seems obvious. So, but when we're in it so much, sometimes it's hard to see it. So, and I see this all the time with clients or the women in my groups, or just conversation with friends or colleagues. We'll talk about, oh yeah, I've got my vision board and I've got this up, I've got this up. But then when it comes to day-to-day activities or our language, the behaviors and our language contradict our vision board, right? So we have to stay more awake and aware throughout our day, right? Oh, I've got this vision board where I've like, got abundance and this, that, and one that, but then we're focused on, we're in Camp Black. So we've got to raise that vibration, raise the awareness. I actually caught myself last week. This is interesting because last week, the beginning of the week, I noticed it was just, I just had a lot to do, and I caught myself going, well, I've got so much to do, not enough time. And it had a heavy feeling to it, right? And I was so in it, and I kind of knew it. I'm like, oh, I'm so in it. And then I went on a mastermind call sort of midweek, very inspiring visionaries, and it's a part of a group I'm of, and I just noticed like what different energy this had, right? All of a sudden it's like, whoa, it's just, light and possibilities and flourishing and prosperity. And I'm like, whoa, I just remember getting off the call, and it wasn't until after the fact I caught myself and I went, whoa, this is really different energy. This is really different. And I caught myself, right? I'm like, wow, like I talk about this and I do feel like I live this quite well, but then it's like, whoa, there's another level here. So we have to be aware as often as possible, right? Do not just be on like a conversation on a Facebook Live or a podcast, but it's that implementation. So yeah, I totally caught myself, but the contrast until I felt that lighter, because I'm putting my money where my mouth is. That's the saying, right? Put my money where my mouth is. And I just noticed that contrast. So with you, like when it comes to work-life balance, like when you fall into that, do you think of like, oh, how do I get out of the busyness or out of this chaos or out of the overwhelm? Or do you focus on, into ease, into flow, into support, right? Seeing for all those opportunities, right? It's such a minuscule shift. A simple shift, easy to do, easy not to do, but has profound effects because your vibration is everything. So pick an area. So a quick call to action for everyone. Pick an area of your life, what might feel like the loudest, most out of balance, whether that is money or health or business, any area really, and just focus, ask yourself, am I in out of mode, like Camp Black, Camp debt, if it's money, debt, credit card debt, is it that energy that I'm trying to get out of, or am I practicing moving into wealth? Again, whatever wealth is for you, out of or into. And it does take practice, I'll be honest, but it has huge payoffs. No pun intended, huge payoffs. So, but it really is ingrained in us to live on autopilot, right? So it's easy to continue. It's easy to listen to a Facebook Live and just kind of go, oh, yeah, that's good information, right? So it takes a bit of effort, takes some discipline, but huge payoffs. So I hope this was helpful. Again, out of and into whatever topic that might be. And something else I just want to mention is when you're thinking about moving into a different category, again, let's use money, make sure it feels believable to you. So if it feels like way too of a stretch, it's going to cause you to doubt. So make sure it's believable, right? So if you're $100,000 in debt and you're saying, I want to make $1 million in the next 6 months, you might want to pull that back only if it doesn't feel believable. It probably doesn't feel believable. So you want to say, okay, well, pick something that you have been successful at. Like maybe you remember a time you had X amount in the bank. It was the most you've ever had. You've experienced it before, so it's believable to you, right? So stretch yourself, but it has to feel believable to you. So this stuff works. We did this in a workshop a few months back. We had 2 different workshops, and I had so many women after send me messages. So many women, and they had either little bits of money come in, a few $100s, or they had refund checks or new business orders. We had one woman who found her dream property for her cabin. And so this stuff works, but again, you've got to put into practice. So let me know how that goes. And also letting you know, I had 2 spots open for some private coaching. I'm down to 1. And basically it's 3 months, a 3-month time frame with 6 private calls, so 2 months a week. So or 2 calls per month. So if that's of interest, pop me a message. Until then, have a fantastic week. We will chat with you soon. Bye-bye.